Hey there guys, and welcome to episode 3 of the Smashing Crossbar Podcast. I'm your host Josh from Crossbar Capers, and with me today is my very good mate Ben from Corner Flag Games. How you going, mate?
I'm not too bad, mate. A fine week that we are having. How about you?
Yes, mate. No, not too bad. Obviously, almost Friday, so just trying to get through the week and looking forward to a decent weekend ahead. A few things planned. So, what do you bet yourself, mate?
Me both, mate? You and me both.
No, absolutely beautiful, mate. Look, guys, as I said, not much happening, obviously, in the Jets camp this week, other than a friendly up at Port Macquarie. So, in today's episode, we will be talking a little bit about that. The first week of the FFA Cup, which will be starting next week. And to finish off, Ben and I decided we would have a bit of a rundown, obviously, of the incomings and outcomings of the Premier League transfer window to round things off. So, yeah, Ben and I are looking pretty excited to get through that and have a look at who's coming in and who's going out. So, yeah, obviously, we'll start things off, mate, with obviously the Jets travelling to Port Macquarie earlier this week to host a friendly and a little bit of a training camp for the junior youth talent up there. With obviously, playing the game against the Mid-North Coast Select side. Your thoughts, mate?
Thoughts? My thoughts? To be fair, I completely forgot that the game was actually happening until I was sitting at my laptop and my phone was going absolutely off the hook, tinging itself from all these notifications. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, why is my phone all of a sudden blowing up? And I just saw this fat stack of Twitter notifications posted by the Newcastle Jets Twitter page going, this, chance, miss, goal. I'm like, oh shit, there's a game on. So I ended up opening Twitter on my computer and just having the live feed refreshed every minute or so as I was getting updates.
Yeah, I dare say that the poor bloke obviously having to update Twitter was not expecting the amount of workload that I thought he was.
I hope he took a keyboard with him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's hoping so because, the Jets, they went right on Tuesday night. They obviously finished with 9, I believe it was. So 9-0 past the Mid-North Coast Select, which, look, let's be honest, it was more of a bit of fun and giving the guys a bit of, obviously distance in the legs and bit of movement, and obviously the big names, some of the big names coming back like Boogs, the captain, and obviously Hoffman, and obviously a few of the other guys. Look, before we get into obviously the goals and obviously stuff like that, I think I was more impressed with obviously Glenn Moss starting over Duncan.
Jack Duncan, yeah.
Look, I don't know, a lot of people have obviously said that, Duncan's going to be number 1, Moss is just there for backup. He knows that, la-di-da, Well, personally, I don't think it's... I think it is that way, but I really think Moss is going to test him and pretty much, look, if you make a mistake, I'm going to take your spot and I'm not letting go of it lightly.
Mm-hmm.
So
see, I would expect that Ernie's the sort of manager that will go, right, okay, he's signed, we all know the sort of contract that he's taken on, and we're not going to have that sort of, ex-international keeper sitting on the bench collecting dust and taking home what I would assume is a decent pay packet compared to other A League secondary reserve keepers. But I think Ernie's the type of manager that will turn around and just go, right, yeah, okay, what sort of his contract you're on, but that doesn't mean you think you're going to walk in every week. He's going to test you, and if I feel that he is doing better than you, I will play him over you. Yeah,
very, very much so, mate. Absolutely. Look, as I said, I think it's going to be a very tough season for everybody. Obviously, in that squad, obviously we've got a few spots still available for signings to come in. I'm really interested, obviously, to see who is going to come in. Obviously, the Jets have been pretty quiet, and obviously Laurie McKenna and so forth in tow. Obviously, not really discussing even any leads or possibilities. So they're keeping it very quiet, and look, only time will tell. You know what I mean? There's been plenty of international stars retiring. I hear like Kobe Bryant's just retired from the NBA. We could surely lure him over with something. I don't know what he's going to bring to the table. He can't really dribble a ball and so forth. But, look, the whole topic with Usain Bolt, pardon me, I thought it was a joke. Like,
so did I.
Like, I received a Twitter off a mate of mine. It's just, Usain Bolt trials at Central Coast, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's a cracker. That's funny as. And then, obviously, Fox Sports came out and said that, look, that's happening, or whatever it is. Apparently, they're looking at signing him on a 6-week sort of training camp deal, and if they like him after the 6 weeks, they'll sign him on. And I was just like, wow. I know they're low, and I know they're down, and I know they've got plenty of wooden spoons in their disposal, considering we threw that many at them last season. But yeah, to bring in Usain Bolt into the mix is just unbelievable. Look, as
I think it's more of a publicity stunt more than anything else. They're trying to do sort of what the Jets did in that first sort of season that we had under ownership over under Martin Lee, by broadening the horizons of the club and letting everybody out there know that there is a club in Newcastle, and this is what we want people to support. And that's kind of why I figured that the Mid-North Coast select game sort of happened. It's putting the Jets in a region that isn't really has an A League club to support, but the Jets would sort of be the closest. So they're trying to expand their horizons out there. Come see our players. Come say hi. Get to know the team, sort of thing. I'm pretty sure they did the same thing last year as well. But yeah, it's to broaden the horizon, sort of thing at the club. And I think the Mariners are doing it, but they're doing it in a very, very, very expensive way by looking at signing Usain Bolt.
Yeah, look, as I said, I was on the podcast, local Newcastle podcast yesterday, Sports Castle with Chris, and we sort of had a bit of a chuckle and a bit of laugh about it. But obviously, in saying that as well, look, if he does sign, I'm going to go down there and have a watch. You know what I mean? Like, it's just for the simple fact that he trialled for so long at Bayern, Borussia Dortmund, sorry, and like, they're no pushovers, mate. You don't last that long, no matter who you are, if you haven't got some sort of talent. He's he's trained in America. He's been over in Norway, and had a few games over there and so forth. So like, he's apparently definitely got the skill level and can definitely play. So and let's be fair, mate. They need as much talent as they possibly can. So as a Jets fan, I wouldn't want to be the defenders trying to chase him down.
No, especially with our defense.
Or trying to compete with him in the air, to be fair. So he's a pretty tall bloke. So yeah, look, well, obviously we'll have to wait and see what happens. And if it goes over the line, it goes over the line, and who knows? It can't be any worse. We've signed some duds, so he's got to be better than half the duds we've signed. So
Mario Jardel springs to mind.
Oh, good old Mario Jardel. Oh well. So yeah, look, as I said, guys, 9-0 finished. 9-0 the game finished, and obviously first half hat trick to Hoffy. Unbelievable. I thought he was on the scrap heap 2 years ago, and last season, and obviously he's proven still, even though it was obviously only a friendly and so forth, that he's still banging them in, and he's keen to obviously not give up his spot just yet and not hang up the boots. So good on him as far as I'm concerned, and I'll be definitely jumping on the Hoffy wagon this season.
You know what I'm like, mate. I've always been on the Hoffy wagon.
Come on, mate. There's no. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. That your fiance's been on the Hoffy wagon. You've just got no choice.
She does. She loves him. She loves him till he opens his mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. You think of all that money, you only do something with his chops, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Just that voice. She's like, no, just shut up.
Just keep your mouth shut. Yeah,
But
looks.
in relation to the good old Hofmeister, you mentioned that 2 years ago you were throwing him out on the scrap heap, and I remember saying to you, nah, he's still got plenty left in him. He's still got plenty left in him, considering that 2 years ago, he was our prime out and out fullback.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have even thought. I mean, I knew the history that he played at a younger level with Hamilton Olympic as a striker and played as an attacking player all through his youth and stuff. And when he initially signed for the Jets in that 2007-2008 season, he was he was signed as a striker as a young fella. But some interesting statistics. He's scored from his initial run in the Newcastle Jets from 2007 to 2015. So that's inclusive of his time at the Jets, Richmond SC, Melbourne City /Heart, and the AIS. He's only scored 3, 6, 9, 10, 12 goals.
Wow.
12 goals in that near on 9-odd year period. That since he's been back at the Jets at 2015, count out, all the other seasons bar this season and last season, where he was played as a fullback, he scored 7.
Yeah, right. Wow. Yeah, he definitely impressed me. I'll be the first to put my hand up. As I said, I thought he was done and dusted. And, last season, he just produced the goods. He just, he'd run everywhere, and friggin' he was wherever you want him to be, and he was always in the right places and so forth. And obviously, with the injuries and everything that we'd had, he stood up. So, no, good on him, I'll say.
Yeah, good on him. I mean, given his fair due, he's never really been out for a major amount of time due to injury. So he's fairly, he's got good luck in keeping away from those sort of injuries and things like that as well. Yeah,
no, 100%. So we'll move on a little bit from obviously Hoffy, as much as we could probably talk about him all podcast. Boogs obviously got up for a double. Now that's talking about fullbacks. That's pretty impressive for Boogs. He doesn't really move far at all. So to be up anywhere near the friggin' goal, the goal line is pretty impressive on its own merit, I think.
I dare say that both those would have come from corners.
Well, I did hear that his second goal was from him playing in the midfield. They pushed him up.
Wow.
Yeah. I said I didn't actually watch the game, and I don't think it really was a stream for anyone else to watch it, but it's only from what I've heard. And apparently he pushed up a little bit, obviously in the last 20 or so, and that's when he scored his second one from the midfield somewhere. So
yeah, I think I seen somewhere that I think it might have been on the Jets Twitter when they tweeted about his second goal that it was a it was a bomber from outside the box as well. Yeah.
So no, look, absolutely. However, I don't think he'll care how they go in, mate. As long as they go in, he don't score too many, and if it wasn't with his head, he'll take it. I suppose he'll be quite happy with that.
Yeah.
So obviously, so we got what's that? That's 3, 4, 5. That's 5 out of the 9. I believe we got one there at the very end from Thurgate, and then we got a. If you haven't seen it, guys, obviously jump on YouTube. We might try and find a link or something for you and put it up. Obviously, down the bottom.
Best place for it's probably the Newcastle Jets FC official Twitter page.
Yeah. What I'm relating to is the goal celebration from your mate.
Oh, my boy, I love him.
Oh man, it was the most outrageous goal celebration I've seen.
He's one of my favourite Jets players.
Little Vajuka over. I can't even say his name. Boyitsa, that's the one. Ben loves the European names. So yeah, look, Vajuka, I don't know how the goal went, but if it was anything like to go by the goal celebration, it must have been impressive.
Well, yeah, they sort of pumped him up. He's had a pretty rough run. I mean, he started last season quite well, and you were hard pressed to knock him out of that left back position. But I think he got injured, which sort of dropped him off a bit, and he never really managed to find it back again until we had that game against Sydney FC where we threw out all the youth and nearly made a meal of Sydney FC. But yeah, it was a year to the game that he scored his first goal for the Jets.
Yeah, right. Wow.
That's why he was so happy about it, because he broke the duck, and his first goal for the club came in the exact same fixture last season.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Look, mate, as I said, we'll move on from obviously the Jets. Obviously, the other goal scorers was Champness with 1 and Jajewski with the other, so which would round it off the 9 there. So, look, a pretty easy run, pretty impressive goal frenzy there. Obviously, it was 7-0 at half time, so the boys well and truly stepped off the gas in the second half. I don't know why. Like, I would have been trying to compete with the under 15s side, to be fair.
I think it was more of a case of sort of resting the legs for the flight out to Spain on Tuesday.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. Obviously, the next stop for the boys is out in Spain in a little tournament they've got going out there. So that'll be very good for obviously the legs and get the jet lag out early and get used to it. Obviously for Asia, hopefully more than just the one game we'll get. So look. So what we're going to do is now we'll move into the first round. I say the first set of games, obviously in the FFA Cup, which I believe starts next week, which will be the 25th of July.
Correct.
So obviously, Ben, we'll just go through the first on the Wednesday games scheduled there, mate. Get your tips and obviously any predictions that you've got for me, mate. So we'll start off with Port Melbourne Sharks versus IPA Leichhardt. What's your thoughts, mate?
At the moment, from the rumblings that I'm hearing from the Victorian NPL at the moment, Port Melbourne Sharks have been on a bit of a run at the moment, and they're sitting sort of high to mid-table at the moment, which is one of the best positions that Port Melbourne Sharks have been in quite a while now. But I do think that IPA Leichhardt are just going to be too strong for them.
Yeah, right. Yep. No, I'd agree with you there, mate. I think IPA is going to run away with that one. Your score prediction, mate. What do you reckon the final score is going to be there?
I reckon it's going to be 3-1 to IPA Leichhardt.
3-1 to APR. I'm going to go 2-1. I think they're going to run away with it at the end, but I think Port might get one up on them. So yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 with that one, mate. So we'll move on obviously to the next one we've got, which will be, I believe, the Lions versus Olympic FC at Lions Stadium. Your predictions on this? I would say pretty close clash, to be fair.
Well, yeah, both of them are. Yeah, it's your Queensland derby.
Very true. Very true.
If I'm going to go with any side, I'd probably hedge my bets on Brisbane Olympic. I don't see it being a blowout by any means. I'm talking like a 1-0 or 2-1. It's going to be a relatively close fixture.
Yeah, I'm going to go the other way, mate. I think the Lions are going to get up over Olympic. I'm going to go 2-0. I'm going to go 2-0 for maybe some would say a slight upset. So next game we've got coming is obviously the big one. Well, not so much for you, but obviously for the guys here in Newcastle. Obviously, first game for our Newcastle local sides, it being Broadmeadow Magic versus Canberra, down there at Deakin Stadium. I'd love to get your thoughts on this one, mate. Obviously, you watched a few NPL games when you've been up here. Pardon?
Magic
for sure, mate.
Magic for the win, mate.
Magic for the win.
Magic for the win. I'm gonna say 2-0.
2-0, mate. 2-0. Actually,
even without Vigili.
Yeah, I don't think Vigili's going to be there. So I think, as I said, I discussed this one yesterday with Chris on the Sports Castle podcast. Obviously doing the FFA Cup wrap there, and I think it's going to be a clash of the strike power. Canberra's got the leading goal scorer at the moment in the competition with 14 goals. So I think between him and obviously Broadmeadow Magic's Virgili, obviously the leading goal scorer on 12. Then next behind him is, I think it's 10, I believe he's on. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But he's sitting on 10 goals, obviously. So it's going to be a strike power frenzy, I think. So I'm going to go 3-0 to Magic. I still don't think Canberra obviously not being in the NPL down there. I think, it should be a pretty easy run for Broadmeadow. So we'll move down to what I would say would be the probably a clash of the round, and probably what could have been, I reckon, the two sides that could have really competed with the A League sides. In Avondale FC versus Marconi Stallions. Obviously, this one here is going to be televised on Fox Sports, so be sure to check that one out. Your thoughts? You might
see me in the crowd.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, I do believe you said you were going to go down to this one. So,
yeah, me and a couple of the old indoor mates that me and you used to play with are going to go down and have a watch. So, Dale, if you're listening, you're coming. Mate. Yeah. And I've rallied up some of the boys from work who are unfortunately Victory supporters.
Well, at least they'll get something decent to watch in the FFA Cup. They'll unfortunately won't get to see Melbourne play in the FFA Cup, as they'll get done by Perth first round, which would be nice.
Mate, according to this fixture, we've got fingers in pies both sides, mate.
Very true, very true.
Where we played indoor down, where you used to play indoor down here in Melbourne, where I still play. The owner is the
former
president of Avondale.
Former president of Avondale. 100%. He was a junior there as well. His dad used to be the president and board members, and his whole family is obviously well and truly into the Avondale Football Club. So it's going to be a tough one, I think. I personally,
and again, the finger in the pie on the other side is Mateo Polyak, ex-Jets, playing for Marconi.
Well, yeah, that's exactly right. He'll bring a lot to the table. Personally, though, I don't think it's going to be a strikers affair. I think it's going to be a defenders game, and I don't see a lot of goals in it. Personally, I think. No,
I don't either.
And again, like trying to tip a side, it's going to be difficult. I'm going to go Melbourne. Obviously, Avondale, being on home soil. To me, I think that's going to give them the edge, and I reckon they'll sneak away 1-0 winners. I think.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement with you, mate. You've stolen me tip. I'm going Avondale 1-0.
No, fair enough, mate. As I said, be sure to check it out on Fox Sports. It's going to be an absolute ripper, guys. So we'll move down
He's hoping Liam Boland scores another screamer for Avondale.
Yeah, we can only hope. So we'll move down to the final two games. We've got Guelph, Croatia Soccer Club versus Adelaide Comets down at Dorrien Gardens. Two sides I'm not 100% familiar with. Again, Ben, I'm sure you've got plenty to talk about, and I'm sure you know these teams very well because you're the analytics man. So,
not one iota, mate.
there's got to be a side.
Much in the dark with this one as what you are.
Well, mate, there had to be two teams that we know nothing about. So this is definitely it. I'm going to go as a stab. As I said, I know nothing about these two sides. Just looking at obviously the form of like the name wise, I'm going to go Adelaide Comets. It sounds like obviously a well established club compared to obviously Guelph, Croatia. Sorry for any Guelph, Croatia fans out there who I've just virtually said that your team's not up to scratch, not up to standards.
Can't be any worse than Shamrock Darwin.
I do believe, Shamrock Darwin, wow. But obviously from looking at the emblem, I dare say they've got a bit of Croatian heritage, so I think they'll still be a little bit cheesed off for the World Cup final. So, I'm going to tip Adelaide, mate. I'm going to go 2-1.
I'm going to go Adelaide 1-0.
Adelaide 1-0. Oh, yeah, mate, we'll see how that obviously pans out. Now that we're frigging both back to Adelaide, they're going to get smacked, I'd say. So, you're welcome, Guelph, Croatia. Moving into the final game. And moving to the final game, we've got Bonnyrigg White Eagles versus Hakoah Sydney City East. Bonnyrigg, obviously, you know them pretty well down there, mate, wouldn't we?
Oh yeah, I've seen them play on TV. That's about as far as it goes. I'm not too far into the mix with it. I know Bonnyrigg have got quite a long history and a successful history, and that Hakoah had their flying run in the FFA Cup last year.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. They've been pretty high flyers, the Bonnyrigg White Eagles. So yeah, I'm tipping Bonnyrigg, I'd say, by about 3, I think. I think Bonnyrigg going to be too strong for Hakoah Sydney, so I'm going to go 3-0 with that one, mate. Your thoughts?
I'm going to go 2-0 Bonnyrigg, mate.
2-0 Bonnyrigg. Fair enough, mate. No dramas at all. Well, as I said, guys, that's obviously the first match day, obviously of the FFA Cup on the 25th of July. Once again, obviously, the televised game will be Avondale versus Marconi. Be sure to check it out, and we will give you an update, obviously, of match day 2 in next week's program. Thanks for that, mate.
Not a problem, mate.
So what we're going to do now is, obviously, we're going to move into the transfer listings, obviously, ins and outs of the Premier League at the moment, mate. So very, very interesting stuff, I would believe. First team up, mate. To an extent. Well, you know,
is when you support a Premier League club.
Yeah, mate. Birmingham will get there, mate. It may not be in the
not for a long time, mate.
May not be in the next decade, but you know we'll get there, mate. Calm down.
No, eventually.
Eventually. So what we might do is, mate, we might start with let's start with Arsenal, mate. Obviously the big guns there. Terence from Wireless Vlogs, obviously calls himself an Arsenal fan, mate, so we'll start with him, I think. Obviously they've got a few decent ins. Obviously Stefan Lechsteiner. Sorry, mate, I probably should let you do these. As I said, you're the gift of the voice of obviously the European last names.
I just pay attention to FIFA too well.
Be sure to go check out some of Ben's content because he has butchered names left, right, and centre in his.
The Olympiacos Rivals Revival game was hilarious.
Yeah, 100%, mate, 100%. So, obviously, yeah, he's coming from Juventus on a free transfer. And you've got, who have we got here? We've got Ben Leno from Bayer Leverkusen. Socrates.
Last goalkeeper.
He is a good keeper, yeah, 100%. Good buy there for Arsenal. We also have Socrates Papastofopoulos. Sorry, mate, sorry if I butchered your name.
That's fine. Everybody just calls him Socrates anyway.
Obviously, he's coming from Dortmund. Obviously, another good signing there from Arsenal. We've got Lucas Torreira from Sampdoria. And Matteo Gondizio, mate. How do you pronounce that?
Gendouzi.
Gondouzi. I'll take your word for it, mate. Shit. How are you gonna pause this? Pause this for a sec, Ben. How do we do that? Stop.
You can't.
Shit.
That's all right. Just keep going.
I would have shut the door.
You can just cut it out.
Yeah, I would have shut the door. Yeah. Could shut the door. Fucking left the door wide open. Fucking Mealy would have been able to fucking go off a tree. Rightio, so we just finished out that. Rightio. 1, 2, 3. Righto, so obviously we've got also the outs from Arsenal. We won't go through obviously a lot of them, mate, because there's plenty in there that people won't really know, but obviously a few are there. Obviously Mertesacker retiring. Going to be a big loss there, mate. What are your thoughts on obviously a few of these guys getting the arse and obviously retiring along the lights of obviously Mertesacker, Wilshere heading away, and we'll go Hugo Keto.
Yeah, from what I'm reading for the outs for Arsenal, and this doesn't just go for Arsenal; it goes for a lot of the Premier League teams. They seem to be throwing out. Well, when I say throw out, I mean released a lot of younger youth players that sort of aren't making the grade to sort of clear up space for financial fair play. Now that transfer sums have been massively inflated, they've sort of got to compensate for that because the financial fair play doesn't catch up in relation to that. So, Mertesacker retiring. Look, I clap the lad. I may not like Arsenal. I don't mind Arsenal, but I do like Mertesacker as a player. But credit to him, he's had a fantastic career, and that's going to be a big loss for Arsenal. Obviously, you got Cazorla being released. He said that after Wenger left, that maybe his time was up and he was going to look for some other opportunities. The other big one, Wiltshire, of course.
Yeah.
Off to West Ham on a free.
Happy days for West Ham, I think.
Good pickup for West Ham, maybe.
Yeah.
Don't know.
If he performs, he doesn't get injured.
A good deal here from what I see. One of their youth prospects that I have heard the rounds about, Takuma Asano, going out on loan to Hanover in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, I did see that actually. And that's going to be obviously a good loan deal. Hopefully, he'll get plenty of game time there, and hopefully Arsenal will be able to get him back if they don't freaking lose him while he's over there. So,
a good thing to Arsenal fans though is for once Birmingham's not raping their youth academy.
Well, to be fair with Arsenal, mate, obviously they've actually bought some players. So obviously with Wenger now obviously leaving Arsenal, they've looks like they've friggin' decided to friggin' buy some decent players because he wasn't a big fan of obviously going to the transfer market a great deal and sticking with his youth. So he's there.
It was very much a that'll do mentality.
100%. So obviously you definitely tell that by the outs. They've well and truly got at least 10 confirmed out. So they've definitely clearing the pines. So we'll move on down.
Yep, they look like they are right on course for the place finish.
Yeah, hopefully they can go a little bit lower this year. I'd be much happier with a low 10 would be nice. Anywhere from 5 down, I'll take. We'll move into Bournemouth, mate. Absolutely, obviously a side that I wouldn't say freaking underachieved last year, but they definitely didn't do what I thought they would have done. Now as good as they would have done. So obviously only the one in at the moment, mate. Obviously with David Brooks coming in from Sheffield United. Don't know a great deal about him. Obviously coming from Sheffield United, they done reasonably okay last season.
They did well. They finished better than expectation coming up from League One.
100%. So look, as I said, it's obviously early days, and the guys I'm sure will definitely bring more in, but they've definitely let a lot go, including obviously one that obviously the viewers may recognise and may know. Obviously Adam Federici, obviously off to Stoke. So obviously I believe he was there on loan. You can probably correct me more on that one, mate. I think, was that the case?
I'm pretty sure Federici was signed. He was signed to Bournemouth. He left from Reading.
Yeah, that's right. He was too. Talking about a completely different bloke, but yeah, obviously Federici, he's left for Stoke. As far as I'm concerned, good riddance. You can go rot down there with Rowett.
I 100% agree with you, mate. You can go rot with Rowett.
Not going to go into that one, but if anyone wants to go find out why I'm not a big fan of Rowett, jump onto the Lencast podcast there.
We all hate Rowett.
And obviously a few guys in there, and telling you virtually how much we hate Gary Rowett because he's a flog. Yeah,
but going back on Bournemouth, they haven't brought a lot in, but they sure as hell have let a lot of decent quality go. Aside from the fact that Royce Wiggins has retired as well, who was a very decent player and did well for them in both Championship and Premier League. But Bentika Fobe going to Wolves is a very strong striker signing for Wolves coming up from the Championship, having smashed it. proven Premier League goal scorer. Max Gradel heading out to the Farmers League over there in the French League 1. Out to Toulouse.
Toulouse, yeah.
And one that I wasn't exactly happy about, Lewis Graban leaving and going to Nottingham Forest. Now, the deal here says it's undisclosed, but I can tell you that he went across to Nottingham Forest for £5.5 million. And the only reason I know that is because Birmingham were in the mix to sign him as well.
There you go. Well, we'll move on down, mate. We'll move on down to Brighton Hove Albion.
Brighton.
Down to Brighton, who have done an absolute frigging... They've done a bit of both, to be fair. They've had a massive clean out, and they've brought a few in as well. So, obviously, we'll have to see come start of the season if they can hopefully do a lot better than what they did last season. They scraped through the final three, bottom three. So,
is Houghton still the manager there?
I believe he is. Yes. So, look, as I said, there's a few players in here that they've brought in that are decent players and hopefully will bolster their squad. Obviously, Jason Steele coming in from Sunderland, Bernardo Fernandez, obviously, De Silva coming in from Leipzig, Hugo Keto, obviously, from Arsenal on a free. The big one, obviously, we'll talk goalkeeping terms, would be David Button.
Yeah.
He's going to be well and truly keeping Matt Ryan on his toes, I believe, for the number one spot. So, obviously we'll talk about the ins. We'll get your thoughts on the ins there, mate, before we move on to the outs.
The ins, the only one that I see is that's sticking out to me that's, they've gone abroad and they've managed to get what look to be some decent talent from a variety of leagues. You've got players coming in from Mainz in the Bundesliga and Deportivo La Coruña from Spain, but still a lot of other players coming in from lower leagues, English sides as well. To be brutally honest, I don't really know too much about the players that they've signed. Probably the one that sticks out for me is De Silva Jr. from Leipzig.
Yep. Yeah, as I said, a few of the guys are obviously going to be a lot of youth talent coming into the squad. So, again, obviously, even with the outs, I'd sort of look at the outs there, and obviously, to be perfectly fair, there's not many in that out list that obviously actually probably played a lot of football last season. Probably the only two major ones that I can sort of think of would be the two that have gone off to Rangers, being Jamie Murphy and Connor Goldson. Jamie Murphy, good pickup for obviously a former Red, Stevie G, in his first season over there. So, not a.
Looks like with their outs, you've got the youth part covered, and I've got the old boys covered, because the two I would have said that stuck out were Steve Sidwell, who's probably on about his millionth club by now, being released. Mind you, he's not a spring chicken anymore. And the other one, considering obviously that they've signed themselves a semi decent keeper to keep Matty Ryan on his toes, is the unfortunate release of good old Finnish goalkeeper Nicky Menempa.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he gets a gig anywhere else. Obviously, he might go down to League One, maybe. He'd probably kill it down there still, but probably not do much else, you would imagine.
Yeah.
So we'll move again, mate, right on down to Burnley, who have absolutely done nothing in the end. I don't know what they're doing there, whether they're brewing something magnificent, but they've only got rid of about 5 blokes. So obviously Scott Arfield again to Rangers on a free, and Chris Long been released, and Tom Anderson is about the only other ones that I know of. He's gone to Doncaster. So
it looks like Burnley is sticking with the mentality of what we've got. We know it works, so we're going to stick with that and just maybe free up some cap space, maybe to possibly sign 1 or 2 semi-odd decent Premier League, mainstays maybe in January. Maybe they're just going to see how their first couple of months goes before the January transfer window.
Yeah, look, to be perfectly perfectly fair. I think the biggest signing for them was the re-signing of the coach, who I believe could have gone anywhere a lot higher than obviously one at like a Burnley side. So holding on to him is a very big. I think
Sean Dyche, isn't it?
Yeah, Sean Dyche, which I think is going to be obviously the big in as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, so obviously not much going on there at Burnley. So we'll get again, mate. We'll move on down to Carter City, one of the newly promoted sides.
The other way.
Yeah. Well, mate, obviously you got to stick with the guys that sort of got you up to the Prem. So just brought a couple of blokes in. Obviously, Bobby Reid there from Bristol City. He played pretty well last year, obviously at Bristol. So pretty much him, and I'd say Josh Murphy from Norwich would be the two big ones there for me, mate.
I'd go the other way, mate. The big one that stands out for me is good young prospect English keeper Alex Smith from QPR, and I know our good mate Andy's very disappointed about that one.
Yeah, big QPR fan, obviously Andy is. So time will tell, obviously, to see if he gets game time or if he's just going to be an understudy and learn off their number one keeper that they've got there at the moment. So we'll move down, mate. Obviously, want to another big name club, obviously in Chelsea. Again, not a great deal.
Call them a big name club.
Come on, mate. You ask anyone, mate. They've won trophies. How many Premier League trophies have you won, mate?
Don't even start.
Yeah, so look, hey mate, I'm in the same boat.
You sure are.
Don't even know why we're classed as a big club. We can't win trophies. Just ask everyone else.
Neither can Arsenal, to be fair.
Yeah. So obviously only with the one in at the moment in Jorginho. Let's be perfectly fair. It cost them an absolute mozza. So they've had to let a lot go just to pay for Jorginho. To be fair.
Yeah, to be brutally honest, looking at their out list, all youth players as well. There's no first team. There's no, massive names that have jumped ship, and even still, a lot of them are out of their list. They've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 players on the out, with 14 of those on loan to lower clubs. Yeah, to sort of get some legs in them. Big ones that stand out for me is young prospect keeper in Jamal Blackman out to Leeds. Mason Mount out to your Derby. That's a good pickup.
Absolutely.
And the other pickup that's done well is Ipswich, the Tractor Boys down in the Championship, learning Trevor Chalobah in. Very strong defensive midfielder for a young bloke.
Yeah, obviously, not 100% sure if he's any relation, but you got Dujon Sterling there. He's hoping he's not related to the Reham Sterling.
Right.
Time will only tell. Give him a couple of years. If he's got about 5 kids to 4 different women,
if he gets to his club and he doesn't score a goal all season, we know they're related.
So move on down, mate, again to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, obviously, again, not much happening there. Only brought in the one, Vicente Guaita. So he's coming from Getafe on a free from what we're reading here. So again, mate, I don't know anything about this bloke. Don't even know who he is. I've never played with Getafe on FIFA, so got no idea, mate. Yourself, you heard of this bloke?
No, I can't say that I have. I'm not very big in the on the Spanish league. I do have some. He's a goalkeeper that's come across. 31-year-old goalkeeper.
There you go.
So, relative information. I played for Valencia between 2008 2014. Had his youth at Valencia as well. Went on loan out to Recreativo, then played for Getafe for 4 years. 108 games, so I don't think he was their first teamer. But yeah, basically, oh no, he was their first teamer for the majority of the time that he was there. Played in both the Segunda Division and La Liga. So very interesting signing for Palace.
No, fair enough, mate. As I said, they're not doing a great deal at the moment, so we'll move on down, mate, to obviously great news that Everton have bought nobody and got rid of a little bit of decent talent. So
A little bit? That's understating it.
yeah, well, a little bit. They haven't got much talent there, mate. Come on. They're the bat boys, obviously, to friggin' Liverpool. So obviously some of the big names you've got there in. Obviously, the biggest one being Wayne Rooney, obviously off to DC United. Time will tell if it was a good move or not. The money would be a good move, but for the league itself and so forth, time will tell. A couple of blokes there out to Grasshopper in Onyekuru and Tershaj. So,
hang on. No, Onyekuru's gone Galatasaray.
oh, sorry, my bad. I was playing tricks on me there, mate. So, so he's off to Galatasaray, Tashuj off to Grasshoppers, and the other guys, I'm not 100% sure who the hell they are. So,
two big losses that I see there is Funes Mori to Villarreal.
yeah,
And their keeper, Yoel Robles, off to Real Betis on a free.
Yeah, right, getting rid of players on a free. Unbelievable. Move on down, mate, to Fulham now. Obviously in. We've got Seri that's come in from Nice. Very good player.
Very good defender.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very, very good signing, obviously, there for Fulham on their first stint back up in the Prem. So
Fulham have gone smart.
100%. And obviously you've got who you got there, Lee Machand from Nice as well. I'm not 100% sure on his details, but I'm sure obviously if they've picked Seri up, this bloke obviously must be some sort of talent.
Yeah, well, just having a look at some of his stuff. He's played in the Europa League. He's played a couple of games in the Champions League. He's a French national, 28 years of age, so he's roughly about the same age as what me and you are. 65 games for Nice, 1 goal in 3 years-ish. Yeah, not overalls. You know, he's a left back, so you never hear anything about defenders anymore. So
yeah, so we'll see how he goes. Obviously, he's probably just come in for a bit of cover. Obviously, with their main fullbacks they've got there already. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Obviously, some big names out though. We've got David Button. Obviously, we spoke on off to Brighton. Elijah
big losses. Ryan Fredericks to West Ham on a free.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, they've let go of Adebayo and Humphreys on loan deals to Scunthorpe and Swindon. Rightio, mate. So let's move on down. Just trying to get through these for you guys, obviously as quick as we possibly can. Huddersfield Town, obviously they've had a bit of a dig in the transfer market.
Yeah, Moy's boys.
Yes, obviously Moy there. Hopefully he goes alright again this season and does enough to maybe hopefully I'd like to see him get a transfer out of there, obviously, and to a little bit bigger club. Obviously, you know, he's getting on, so not many years left in the tank for the old Moister. So obviously some big names in there, mate. You've got Ben Hammer there coming over from Leicester on a free. You've got Saboy from Stoke. And
Ramadel
Sobby, yeah, from Stoke. And I think the biggest one there, I would say, obviously you've got Eric Durm come from Borussia Dortmund, but I think the goods there is definitely Lozel, Jonas Lozel from Mainz. He's a very good player. Obviously, I played with him a little bit in the on FIFA 18, so always like.
Yeah, he was on loan there last year.
Yeah, always like to pick him up. Obviously,
yeah, I think I'd go so far as to say that personally, I think Huddersfield have had the best ins for their relative, level in the Premier League. They've got the best ins of any club in the Premier League. Like Congolo was massive in bloody the Dutch Eredivisie, say 2-3 seasons ago, and he was a FIFA career mode, absolute gem, going back a few years before he made his transfer out to Monaco. And even still, he played a couple of games at Monaco. I think he was only there for about a season or a season and a half. Sobby from Stoke, obviously Stoke clearing out because they can't keep the wages in the championship. So good pick up for them in Sobby. Bakuna, I don't really know too much about. Aside from, I know he's come from Groningen, which is Dutch Eredivisie. Obviously, signing Russell is a massive step for them, and by far the big standout. And I think the signing of Eric Durm from Borussia Dortmund may have gone from David Wagner a phone call to Jurgen Klopp going, "Hey, do you still have any of the boys' numbers? I'm looking at a player. You still speak to any of the boys? Oh yeah, I got Eric Durm if you want him."
Yeah, look, obviously, those guys obviously good friends there at Dortmund's in their playing time and obviously coaching stints. So yeah, it could have possibly been a simple phone call to Klopp there, mate. So obviously not many big name outs.
No big outs.
They're all pretty much run of the mill. Get rid of some coin and gain some coin and free up some room. So yeah, but we'll move on down to Leicester. Obviously, these guys haven't been. They didn't do too bad. They'd probably done a little bit better than I thought they would have last year. I thought they would have really struggled, but they sort of come good there at the end of it. Obviously, the ins, with Ferreira from Porto. Know him pretty well, obviously, from just playing FIFA 18 in the Portuguese league. So obviously, he's a decent signing for them. Johnny Evans will be, as far as I'm concerned, a hit and miss. He'll either be decent signing for them, or he just he's just one of those players that I don't know. You'll find out halfway through the season. Doesn't start well, but doesn't play bad at the start. But we'll see what happens. 100%. And then obviously you've got Madison that's coming from Norwich, who I don't know a great deal about personally. So
he'll be cover.
Yeah, you would think so. You would think. Obviously, massive let goes in the out department. Obviously, with Robert Hoof, who's been released. Wouldn't be surprised if he hasn't been picked up already by a club somewhere. And obviously, the big one there in Mahrez, obviously going to City, which I believe is probably one of the dumbest moves.
They've got plenty of room to wiggle now in the transfer market.
Yeah, 100%. I just think it'll be the dumbest mistake he's made his biggest mistake he will make in his playing career. I don't think he's going to get a great deal of start time. I still think there's plenty of power and plenty of decent talent in front of him. Personally, that's just my opinion. But I don't know what your thoughts on it, mate.
It's typical, I'm a Premier League winner, so that medal makes my price go up. I'll give him his due. He is a class player and he does deserve to have a crack, but I just think that jumping from Leicester to City is just a step too far. Yeah,
I would definitely agree with that one, mate.
By reports here, which was 2 hours ago, he made the move for £60 million.
Wow, £60 million.
Because we'll post the link to the website that we're getting all this from. It's from the official Premier League website, but all the deals basically say either released, loaned, or undisclosed.
Yeah, 100%. We don't know exactly have obviously figures of how much. In saying that, I do have a figure, and in the region of obviously your 60 million you just said there of Mahrez. As we move down the list, obviously into Liverpool,
boys,
100%, mate. Obviously fresh off the press, $65 million just this morning. Picked up another great signing in Alisson from Roma.
Class keeper.
Fingers crossed he can catch balls. What possibly?
Well, no, because if he crosses his fingers, he can't catch a ball.
He probably could. what could have been a massive difference for us if we had him, say 6 months or 3 months ago, obviously in the Champions League.
I was about to say you come up against him in the Champions League, didn't you?
Yeah, mate, buried 7 past him. Must have been talks early. Real early, obviously. So yeah, we'll move obviously into Liverpool, obviously my Premier League side, mate. And mate, as far as I'm concerned, I say this nearly every year, obviously being a Red and wanting to win the title, but with the ins we've got, the depth we've got, if we're not top 2, I'll eat my hat. Obviously we brought in obviously Fabinho from Monaco, Naby Keita from Leipzig, which we signed pretty much at the start of last season, and obviously the recent signing of Shaqiri. So, obviously including Alisson, 4 massive signings, pretty much ranging from front to back. So,
yeah,
you know,
I'd like to agree with you on your top 2, but unfortunately, it is the curse of Liverpool once again. He's needing out and out.
Yeah, see, I don't think so, mate. Friggin', mate, we've got depth up front. We've probably got the best, as far as I'm concerned, the best strike partnership in the league at the moment. Again, that's very questionable for everyone else who isn't a Liverpool fan. That's actually not me being biased. I honestly believe that. It's the reason why we made the Champions League final. Salah, Firmino, all these blokes. When you've got the likes of Sturridge and Enco obviously sitting on the bench, not being able to get game time, having to go out and loan, but still wanting to stay at the club, it just shows to me how much commitment and how much they know they want to be part of something special. In saying that,
Bogdan.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, in saying that, obviously,
loyalty.
Yeah, in saying that, though, obviously we have let a couple go. Obviously, you've got Jan Dander gone off to Swansea. Look, he was a good young prospect, and he probably still will be, obviously, but hopefully he does well out there at Swansea. And that he was a good player for us in the youth system. So we've got Ovi Ajera, obviously off to Rangers there on loan, off to Stevie G, obviously who he knows very well. Coached him last season, so I dare say he's picked him up on a simple, he's the goods, I need him. Our biggest out obviously being Emre Can off to Juventus. He's probably licking his lips right now, considering he's now going to play with arguably the best player in the world. So
yeah, and on a free, no doubt.
Yeah, 100%. So I dare say he'll be quite happy with the move out there to Juventus. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy for him to go. He was a good servant for us, but obviously with the midfield structure we've got at the moment, there is definitely no place for him. When you've got the likes of obviously Lallana, who is going to now struggle to get game time. Henderson, our own captains, would struggle to get game time, I would believe.
And bringing in Fabinho as well is going to anchor that defensive midfield alongside with Henderson.
Yeah, 100%. So,
and you've got Milner as backup who can play anywhere across the field.
Yeah, look, as I said, it'll be interesting, obviously, to see what happens because from what I've heard in the last 24 hours, the big Ox, as much as Terence will be very happy with this one, Ox has just been confirmed out for the whole season. Yeah, so he's done his ACL and meniscus and every bloody bone in his freaking leg just about. So, yeah, just been confirmed out for the...
powering through.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, moving on from that, obviously, you've got Manchester City. Riyad Mahrez, obviously, from Leicester that's come in. Their only signing so far. Obviously, friggin' smashed a shitload out of their out on loan. Again, like Chelsea, just love keeping their players and sending them out on loan. No real big names.
Really? You don't think Yaya Toure being released is not a big name?
No, personally not. No, maybe
I know he's getting on, but
I was going to say,
do a job.
Maybe 4 years ago. I don't know where he'll end up. I don't think it'll be, one of the lower Premier League sides would be a good pickup for him. Maybe he might go to West Ham. They're picking up all the old blokes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, look, other than that, that's pretty much about it. But I don't think there's really too many blokes there that are going to, City. I don't think City need the guys there. We've got obviously the counterparts in Manchester United. Diego Dolet's coming from Porto, Fred from Shakhtar, and Lee Grant from Stoke.
Lee Grant's a weird one.
Yeah, I don't really know what. There's always that one player that comes into a big name club, and you sort of go, mate, you're going to struggle for game time. Why'd you bother?
Struggle with bloody Stoke.
So obviously we'll have to see what happens there, mate. Hopefully he's banking on a few injuries. He might make some himself just to get a start. Chop a few legs. Obviously the big one leaving United would be obviously Michael Carrick. Not leaving, obviously retiring. Great servant for the club as much as I hate United. Done his job and so forth. Obviously the other one there is Dele Blind off the Ajax. What's your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, he's going back home, mate.
Yeah, 100%.
He's going to go link up with Dad.
Link up with Dad.
His dad does. I think his dad's on the staff.
I think he's on the.
The other big ad is their young. What I would say is a better goalkeeper than Lee Grant. Young Sam Johnston getting a crack in the Premier League with West Brom. Yeah,
very, very true. Very true.
Playing at the file.
Yeah, well, that's it. Only time will tell. Obviously, going down to West Brom there, he will definitely get a chance. I'd imagine down there. Moving through, obviously Newcastle United. Obviously the boys still obviously with a little bit of hope. I'd see this year for them. I think they're going to go all right. I think obviously they haven't made too many moves. Obviously in the ends, Martin De Bruyker from Sparta Prague. You've got Kiso Young from Swansea, which is probably a good signing for them. Especially considering it was a free, and obviously Kennedy coming in on loan from Chelsea, good young bloke there, up and coming, who I dare say will probably get a little bit of game time.
I still think they're out a bit rougher on them than what their ins are.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The loss of Marino and Hayadara.
Yeah, look, as I said, I'm going to, as I said in the last episode there, I've got two very good mates of mine, obviously born and bred in the Toons, so I'm definitely going to try and get them on for a little bit of a chat in regards to obviously how they think Newcastle's going to go this season, and get a little bit of insight into their obviously thoughts in the up and coming Premier League season. So stay tuned for that, guys. David and James, obviously, give me a shout out when you're free, and we'll try and tee that up. Powering through, Southampton, Stuart Armstrong to Celtic, Mohamed Alianuzi to Basel. I reckon I got that one correct, Ben, so don't correct me on it. Angus Gunn to Man City, and Yannick Vestergaard to Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Their ins. I'll say very much like Huddersfield. They haven't gone for massive transfer fees, but they've scouted well, and every single one of those players I know of, and have done good things at club level for those clubs. And they've spent and scouted well. Stuart Armstrong, mainstay in the Celtic in midfield. He was smashing goals for fun halfway through last season. Alianuisi from Basel has been at Basel quite a long time now, and is a mainstay in their team and a very good servant for them. Young keeper Angus Gunn from Man City sort of made the rounds on loan to some of the championship sides and lower league sides. So yeah, decent goalkeeping pickup for him. And Vestergaard, again, another mainstay for Borussia Mönchengladbach. Yeah,
definitely agree with Vestergaard there from Mönchengladbach. I think it's a good signing for getting him in there. We'll move on down to the outs, mate. Obviously, we've got a few. I won't go through all of them. They've got a few, but obviously the big ones there. Tadic back off to Ajax. Stuart Taylor obviously been released. Who else we got there? Armani Little. Yeah, Armani Little's probably the only other one I know who will hopefully get picked up by possibly a lower league Premier League side. But the rest there, obviously, good luck to them, I suppose. Moving quickly down to Tottenham Hotspur now, mate. Obviously, Keenan Bennett's from Borussia Mönchengladbach. And Anton Walks from Portsmouth.
Again, Tottenham haven't done anything. Sticking with the philosophy of we know we've got work, so we're just going to keep going, free up a little bit of space. So maybe we can make some moves in January.
Yeah, obviously, not much movement, obviously, in the outs there, obviously, because, they've only got made the two out, so we'll, looks like they're going to stick with, obviously, Kane and Ali and so forth, and hopefully they can produce the goods still. Moving down to Watford, obviously, they've bought a couple of decent ins as far as I'm concerned. You've got Deulofeu from Barcelona, which massive signing coming from Watford.
Well, I'm pretty sure he was on loan there last season too.
Yeah, he was. So to make that deal, obviously, certainly was obviously a big one. Ben Foster, at one point there, obviously England's number one. So obviously that's a very good mainstay for West Brom for many years. 100%. So it was good to see him finally getting out of there. Obviously, couldn't do much with them to save him. So again, other than that,
even their outs are a bit They've got some big outs. Mauro Zarate out to Boca.
Yeah, it's a big move.
He's been a bit of a club hopper. He was at Birmingham for a very long time ago. But the big one for them, I dare say, is their backup keeper in Costel Pantilimon.
Yeah, right.
Going back to Forest, Dan won't be happy about that. A big, tall, skinny, lanky, 7-foot motherfucker.
Yeah, so we'll move on obviously down to the final two now. We've got West Ham and obviously Wolverhampton to finish up. So West Ham's obviously ins. They've absolutely come into money. Absolutely found some money. So they've obviously got Ryan Fredericks from Fulham on a free. They've got Diop from Toulouse, which is a good signing.
Another good defender.
100%. They've got Fabianski coming there from Swansea. As all you and I have spoken a few times there, I personally think he's a pretty decent keeper. So obviously great signing for West Ham. Obviously Jack Wilshere is coming from Arsenal. Yarmolenko from Dortmund.
Very good winger.
Which is another great signing there. Balbuna from Corinthians, and I think for me another really good signing there is for Felipe Anderson. Unbelievable signing. How the hell they've got him from Lazio is
well, you look at what they've brought in versus what they've shipped out, and they must have had some decent money in reserve before they started doing anything, because with their only outs, they haven't really freed up a lot of space considering what they've added.
Yeah, 100%. It's pretty funny, when you look at it, because obviously, Patrice Evra obviously is gone, Ben Wells is gone, Reece Burke and James Collins.
Patrice Evra went through last season.
So, obviously, they haven't really got a great deal of money there. Obviously, they might have got a little bit for Reece Burke. He's probably the big one out of the lot there, obviously, from what I can see, as being the big money earner there, obviously getting some money off him. So, we'll move on down to, obviously, the final team I've got here, mate, which is Wolverhampton Wanderers, promoted obviously this year and looking to do some damage. I think they're I think it's been a bit of a theme the last couple of seasons. Obviously, the guys coming up from the Championship and doing pretty well, and I think I see these guys doing pretty well as well and escaping the drop. I think
they completely smashed the Championship last season.
Yeah, 100%. And with their ins, obviously, they're going all out. They've got a Phobie there from Bournemouth. You've got Bolly from Porto, which is he's a gun, Willy Bolly. Great player. You've got Jimenez there from Benfica. You've got Patricio, another great signing there from Sporting Lisbon. So they're smashing the Portuguese league at the moment. Bonatini from Al Hilal. I've no idea who he is, but
Bonatini used to play for Newcastle United.
There you go, mate. There you go, bit of trivia.
Playing the tune.
There you go, and obviously Ruben Vinagre from Monaco, another great signing as well. So they've cleared a lot out. Obviously, moving up, they're going to need to free up a bit of room and so forth. And you'd imagine a lot of these guys have just been released. due to
The one that sticks out to me as rather weird is that they buy Bentica Phobe from Bournemouth and then loan him out to Stoke.
Yeah, very weird, isn't it?
Why?
Well, only they will know. Here's hoping they stay up so they can friggin' keep him for next season, I suppose.
Yeah, and he's hoping Gary Rowett takes Stoke down.
That'd be very 100%. Yeah, that'd be muchly appreciated. But yeah, look. But look, as I said, guys, there's not much movement, obviously, in the side that. Plenty of movement, but not a great deal of players in here that most would know. They're obviously just a lot of the youth guys, obviously coming and going. So
the only other one I do know is Ben Marshall, who's been making the rounds of recent times. Was it Blackburn for quite a while? Here's your shout, Bodes. Was it Blackburn, and then he moved across somewhere else into the Championship when Blackburn got relegated, and then he ended up at Wolves for 6 months or 12 months, and then he ended up, now he's at Norwich, so back in the Championship.
There you go, a bit of insight. So look, as I said, guys, that's obviously just a quick rundown, obviously, of some of the big names and ins and outs of the Premier League. There's going to be plenty more, I'd imagine, as we sort of covered there. Obviously, there's a few teams that haven't really done a great deal, so still a bit of time, obviously, for him to do so. So we'll have to just wait and see what happens, mate. So anything else, mate, before we obviously wrap this segment up?
No, mate. I think we've pretty well covered the Premier League transfer market.
100%. We were only sitting there talking, obviously, an hour or so ago, saying shit. There's not much really to talk about, Jets related and so forth. So, bit of a rundown of the Premier League transfer market there, which hopefully you guys, obviously got a little bit of an insight into it. So, look, as I said, over the next couple of weeks, we are probably going to be doing a little bit more Premier League related stuff, being the fact that obviously there's not going to be a great deal of Jets content out. Obviously, they're off to Spain, so we will give you obviously the scores and obviously as much update as we can on goal scorers, etc. Obviously, in Spain, I don't know what we're doing there with coverage, so
probably Twitter.
Yeah, most likely Twitter. So obviously, if you guys, probably your best bet's jump onto Twitter, and Laurie loves a good tweet, so he'll be sure to friggin' let everyone know what's going on over there. So, look, as I said, what we might do actually, Ben, is I haven't really spoken to you about it, but we'll do it live on air, I suppose. If you do go to that Avondale game, mate, we might actually hopefully get a bit of footage, or might cross to you over there, mate, for a little see how things are going, and maybe get the final score off you.
Yeah, I'll do some comprehensive rundown for you to present on the pod next week.
100%, mate. That'd be fantastic. And obviously, we'll play a little game of like, where's Ben? I think try and find you in the crowd out there, mate.
Well, I'm not going to make it easy. I'm not going to go and wear a Jet shirt. I'm just going to go in normal clothes.
Oh, go on, mate. Friggin' Jet scarf, NCL scarf, Jets gear, decked out, mate. Why wouldn't you?
Well, I shouldn't, because recently at work I've been using my Heidelberg United Warriors scarf because my NCL scarf's been in the wash.
No, well, at least you're washing it, mate. I hate to think how much grog's been on that friggin' scarf.
grog, work, sweat, you name it. I wear it every day at work.
Nah, too easy then, mate. Well, thanks again for being on the show.
Not a problem, mate.
And before we do go, mate, can't give you anything at the moment, but I'll be down in a couple of months to give you a little something, mate. Big congratulations on the 1 year of your YouTube channel, mate.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. So, guys, definitely go out and check his stuff. It's brilliant. Definitely got me inspired, obviously, to do my own stuff. So, 100%, mate. Give yourself your little plug there, mate.
Thank you. And before we go too far, I'd like to congratulate you on your Sportscastle, podcast that you did. I listened to it today on my way home from work, and it was very good, informative.
Yeah, absolutely, guy, mate. Big shout out to Chris. Muchly appreciated for having me on. They do an absolute magic work with obviously covering all things Newcastle sport related. Be sure to go check them out. Obviously, Sportscastle, they're on Facebook, he's got Facebook, Twitter, etc. I'll leave a little link down below, obviously, to jump over to his channel and that. But yeah, mate, absolutely. Thanks again, guys, for listening, and we'll leave all our details, personal details, etc. down the bottom. And till next time, we will catch you guys later.